everything changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome into the RockstarFlipper YouTube channel. Today is Sunday, it's January the 13th, 2019. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And this video is gonna be a very serious video because I think the topic of this video is a very serious subject. And you read the title, and so we're discussing Poshmark today. And I wanna start this video off by saying that I think Poshmark is an amazing app, an amazing program, an amazing software platform, all the above. I can't speak enough about how awesome the idea of it is, the way that it works is. The CEO, Manish, is awesome. I was fortunate enough to meet him in Dallas for PoshFest. I got to talk to him for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I've messaged with him several times on Instagram back and forth and emailed with him, and he's an awesome CEO. And what he's been able to accomplish in the last 6 or 7 years, I think that Posh has been up since give or take 2012-ish. It's been 6 or 7 years, I'd have to check the exact date. And honestly, Posh has just taken off in the last 24 months with the Instagram boom and with resellers and with the whole, make money and thrifting. Really, Posh in the first couple years didn't have all that many sellers or a following, and just in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, it's really taken off, and it's incredible what he's been able to do with it. But with that being said, now that Posh is at the point that it's at 6, 7, 8 years old, there's some things on Poshmark that really need to be fixed. And Manish has addressed a lot of those in the last just 6 to 12 months between sales order reports and going international, starting with Canada and expanding to the rest of the world. And all the different things, the boutiques and the marketplaces and everything that he's put into the platform is amazing. But the one thing that I see that Poshmark is lacking on, and quite frankly failing on, is the tax side of things. Now, I'm gonna explain this in 2 parts, because one part is responsibility and one part is liability. And that might sound like the same thing to you guys, but it's not. And I'm gonna tell you why in just a second. But let me start by saying I'm not the biggest Poshmark seller. I'm not even a full-time Poshmark seller. I sell on Posh to make a few extra dollars. My business circulates around Amazon and eBay and local sales and wholesale and everything else that I do. So Posh is just something that I started 6 months ago, obviously to be able to test it, to see how it works, to make some money on it, and to have knowledge and experience to be able to try to help other people as I learn more. And so what I've learned through Posh, even though I'm not the most experienced and I haven't been on there for 5 years and I don't sell on it, every single day, is that a lot of people come to me because of my following and because of the YouTube channel and the social media, that I do have contacts and I do talk to a lot of people and I do interact with a lot of people. And well, eBay and Amazon and Posh and Etsy in a way are all the same when it comes to the basics of running a business. They all have their different sections of their websites and how they run, but when it comes down to bare bone basics, running a business, taxes, accounting, all that stuff, they're all one and the same. They all work the same way. And so I tend to get a lot of messages, and I'm happy to screenshot them, but I don't want to reveal who they came from, but a lot of messages and emails and things from sellers on all different platforms. And the one thing I notice about Poshmark sellers is that they always ask about taxes. They ask about sales tax, they ask about 1099s, they ask about federal tax, they ask about all of those things. And this is the one section of Poshmark that I think Manish and his team are failing at. And I don't know that using the word failing is proper, because I don't think Manish is stupid about the idea. He's a genius. He's super intelligent. He's the smartest guy that was in the room in any day that I've met. And so I know he knows what he's doing, and so it makes me think that maybe he's doing things the way he's doing them for legal reasons that are way above my knowledge, or he's doing them on purpose. And so let me explain to you what I mean. Poshmark does not issue a 1099 like PayPal, eBay, or Amazon. So if you sell on Poshmark and you're not familiar with the 1099s, the 1099 is when you are an independent contractor or independent seller, you work for yourself, you're self-employed. When you sell through a third party, through a platform like eBay, like Amazon, like Etsy, or you sell through somebody that does consignment, you're going to get a 1099. And the reason is, if you sell $1,000 on eBay eBay is the one, PayPal technically, but eBay PayPal collects the $1,000. And so the IRS sees that eBay collected $1,000 and wants to tax them on the income and profits. But eBay says, no, 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 we didn't sell the 1,000. That guy sold the $1,000. We just collected our fees of $100. And so eBay then gets taxed on $100 because that's what they made as their fees for you selling. They pass that $1,000 in sales on to you via a 1099. It's a tax paper. And so when you hit $20,000 and 200 transactions on eBay via PayPal, money coming in, they send you a 1099. Now, that doesn't mean you have to hit $20,000 in order to pay taxes. You owe taxes as soon as you make a profit. If it's 10 bucks, you owe it. That's just the threshold they've set to send you the paperwork. That's big enough to set off flags. If you make $5,000 on eBay or PayPal, you better pay your taxes on whatever amount of profit you made, less your deductions. Because even though PayPal didn't send you a 1099, if the IRS was to audit your earnings at some point, they're gonna see that you transferred $5,000 or $4,000 or whatever amount of money from your PayPal to your bank account. Remember, when the IRS audits you, they can subpoena your bank records. And if they see that, they're gonna say, hey, this dude made $4,000 and he didn't tell us about it. What kind of taxes do you owe? And then you're open for fees and late fees and interest and fines and penalties, and you don't want any of that. And is an audit rare? Yeah, it is. It is, what, like 5%? It's less than that, I think. And especially if you're only making a couple $1,000, you're even less likely to be audited. Let's be honest, the IRS wants the guys that are cheating them out of, millions of dollars. And so that's the way 1099s work. Amazon, again, sends you a 1099 no matter what you make inside of your tax documents on Amazon. When you sell on Amazon, you'll go on there, you'll download the tax report, and it shows you exactly how much sales you made. And then you have those numbers in order to report to the IRS, at which point you'll need to have a bookkeeping, accounting, or a spreadsheet showing what you spent for all your items, how many deductions you had, your taxes, your miles, your licenses, your shipping fees, your packing materials, your internet, your cell phone, your cable, all that stuff that you're going to deduct so that you can take your taxes from X amount and get them down as low as possible. And so that's why we do the accounting side. But those numbers they provide on that 1099 are just your sales. That's how much you actually sold on the platform. So with Poshmark, we don't get a 1099, and there are plenty of people doing more than $20,000 a year in sales. And so when you break down $20,000, you're only talking about like $1,666 or some odd number like that. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but it's something like that. And that's not that hard to hit, guys. I mean, $1,666 over 30 days is like, what, 55, 60 bucks a day? You're talking about only selling a 2 or 3 item average. You're talking about only selling 80 items, 90 items a month if you have a decent average sell price. So a lot of us that are listening to this video right now, or that you see on Instagram that have 10,000, 5,000, 18,000, 30,000 followers, are absolutely hitting that number. Now, once again, you don't have to hit that number to owe taxes. You owe taxes anyway. And so this is a part that I think Poshmark is really neglecting and is really hurting their sellers, hence the title of this video. I believe Poshmark should do the same as PayPal and eBay and Amazon and issue 1099s. Now, I get messages from sellers all the time, Poshmark sellers, that are like, what is a sales tax certificate? What do I owe taxes because I only sold $1,000 on Poshmark? And so I'm not a CPA. If you've ever watched my videos, you know I don't give actual tax advice. But the fact that I have sellers who are selling $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month, doing 20, 30, 40,000 a year in gross sales and making 15 or 20,000 in profit, who don't know what a sales tax certificate is, don't know what a federal tax 1099 is, don't have a tax ID, don't even have a sole proprietorship under their social security number, is a real problem. And it's not 1 or 2 people I've gotten these messages from, it's dozens. I literally screenshot and save them in a file. And this is the point where I think I need to kind of maybe have a talk with Manish. Maybe somebody needs, I can't imagine he hasn't thought of this or hasn't gone over it with his lawyers, but why is there no 1099 for Poshmark sellers? Why? And why is there no sales tax report? So people tell me all the time, like, do I have to pay sales tax through my Poshmark sales? How do I set it up? How do I collect it? They don't realize that when you sell a $20 item to your own state, now I understand that sales tax is changing a lot in this country with all the new laws, but prior to 2019, why, are sellers not aware that they have to print that sales report that Posh gives, which they just started in the last year, that, prior to that you had to physically track and manually track each state. When, I live in Florida, every time I sell an item to somebody in Florida for 20 bucks, I should have been collecting $1.40 in sales tax, which you don't have sales tax settings on Posh. So the $1.40 has to come out of the $20, which actually I only get 16, which means I only got $14.60. Because our sales tax here was 7%. It's since gone up, but sellers had no idea. And so states were losing hundreds and hundreds of dollars in sales tax per person because people weren't reporting all those sales. Let's say somebody did $3,000 in sales on Poshmark. Into their home state, they did $500, and that $500 was at a 7% tax rate. That's $35 a month times 10, 12 months is $350 and another $420 a year times how many sellers. So as you can see, this is a real problem. The sellers don't even understand that they're supposed to. Now, if you're just selling some clothes out of your closet, then by all means, I get it. Nobody's gonna go through that, even though technically you're supposed to, and I'm not condoning that you ignore it. But I really think Posh needs to get on board and needs to issue 1099s for federal taxes. And they need to issue some kind of way for us to either set a sales tax setting to charge the customer sales tax, or they need to set a report where we can see all of the sales tax that should be owed via our state. Now, with the new laws changing, Posh may not have a choice in the matter. The states may force the platform to collect it and pay it on our behalf, which would mean that you Poshmark sellers don't have to worry about sales tax. That is not the way it is right now. There are a few states that have started, at least on eBay and Amazon. I don't know in Poshmark if that has started yet. Now, let me give you guys a state, for example, Washington. I think a second one is Iowa and a third one is Alabama. So I want to know if there's any Poshmark sellers on here that have sold to the state of Washington. I know 100% for a fact Washington has started, which means if you sell an item to somebody on Poshmark for $20, according to Washington state law, this is all being done by states now, every state is different, no matter the threshold, that seller has to pay sales tax on the $20 item. I don't know Washington's percentage. Assume it's 8%. I don't know the number. That would be $1.60. The seller would have to pay Poshmark $20 plus the $6.49 shipping plus the $1.60 sales tax. And actually it would be higher because the sales tax would be charged based on the $26.49. So it'd be whatever, $1.80, $1.90, I don't even know, whatever that number is. And so you will still only see your 20 less your $4 for your fee, your 20% Posh, which would put you at 16. But Posh should be collecting $1.89. Now you're never gonna see that, so we have no way to know. But I would be interested if any of you have sold anything to Washington State and if there's any way we can inquire. So I'm gonna send out an email. I have Manish's email and I've again messaged with him and everything. I'm gonna send him out an email and I'm gonna ask him if he would be interested in possibly doing either an on-camera or off-camera interview and see if I can get the answers about how Posh intends on proceeding with the new sales tax laws and the lack of sales tax reporting prior to this, and also federal 1099s. And I really should have thought of all of this when I was in Dallas for Posh Fest. I didn't. That's my mistake. It's on me. I apologize because I knew it was coming and I should have taken that advantage. Could have got him on camera sitting, right next to me. But anyways, just some thoughts I had about Posh. I'm probably gonna get a little bit of hate from the loyal Poshmark people. And listen, I am all team Posh. I think it's amazing. Again, that's why I started the video like I did. I think Manish has done an amazing job. I just think that he's falling behind on this part of it. And again, if I'm wrong, fantastic. I'll admit that I'm wrong. It's possible he's not falling behind and he's purposely doing things the way he's doing it because of some legal amount of legalness that I don't understand because I'm not a lawyer that's way up here. But my problem with that is, why would eBay, a $9.5 billion company, and Amazon, a $50 quadrillion company, both be doing it that way above board, and Posh, a $1 billion in lifetime sales revenue, whatever company, not follow suit? What would make Posh different from the rest of the platforms? Etsy as well is collecting, as far as I understand. Maybe Vicky or Katie Zoerberg can chime in on that. I'm not an Etsy seller, or maybe somebody else, but why would Posh be different than all the rest of the platforms? So that's my thought for tonight. Manish, I love you. I want to talk to you. I want to get some answers. I think Posh is awesome. All you Posh sellers are doing an amazing job. And the only reason I'm making this video is because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. Taxes are a serious thing. The two things that are guaranteed in life are death and taxes, so make sure you're paying your taxes. You gotta pay sales tax on items that come through your state or that you have a nexus in until the laws finish changing. And you gotta pay federal taxes even if you just make 100 or 200 bucks a month and you only make a couple grand a year. You owe federal taxes, you know, depending on your state and the minimums and your deductions. You gotta report the income. I'm not a CPA, I can't give you official license, but if you're not selling just a couple items out of your own closet and you're actually going out to thrift stores and buying stuff and selling it and flipping it, you are responsible for federal taxes, and that income should be filed via 1099 or a Schedule C or however you plan to do it. So please, I know this is gonna be probably a hot topic and a controversial video, but I wanna know your guys' respectful opinions down in the comment section below. If you don't leave comments, I have no idea what you're thinking, whether you're happy, whether you're mad, whether you agree with me, you disagree with me, you hate me, you don't. The comment section is very, very important, and I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna read them, and I always read all my comments. I respond to many, many, many hundreds of them a week. If I don't respond to your comment, I apologize. I will try my best. In the meantime, do know that I read it, and a lot of us read it, and other people read it as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. All of you Poshmark sellers, please don't destroy me on Instagram. Use this as a positive, not a negative. And until I see you guys next time, subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up, because I really do work hard to try to bring you guys all the important information that you need, including taxes. It's tax season, it's that time of year. So have a wonderful Sunday night, and I'll see you again at the start of our week tomorrow on Monday. Good night, y'all.